Okay, so what if you could actually turn back the clock on your brain? I'm not talking about some sci fi movie or a miracle pill, but a tool you can get your hands on like right now. We're going to dive into this because a huge new study just dropped, and it looks like they've found a real, scientifically proven way to do exactly that.
And this is the quote that's got everyone talking 10 years younger. I mean, let's be clear. We're not just talking about feeling a little sharper. We are talking about a measurable, physical reversal of a key marker of aging in the brain. That's straight from the lead scientist. So the big question is, how on earth did they pull this off?
Well, the secret is all wrapped up in a groundbreaking experiment they called the ENHANCE study. This is where a team of scientists put a very specific type of digital brain training to the ultimate test. And the results, well, they're the reason for all this buzz. So let's break down exactly what they did.
All right, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. Over at McGill University, researchers got together 92 older adults. Their goal was simple, but also incredibly ambitious. Could a digital training app called Brain HQ actually reverse the physical signs of aging inside the brain? The answer they found was a big, resounding yes. So here's the game plan they used. They took those 92 volunteers and split them into two groups for 10 weeks straight. Group 1 did very specific training on Brain HQ for 30 minutes a day. The other group, the control group, just played some casual online games for the same amount of time. Then, the scientists measured their brain chemistry before it all started and again after the 10 weeks were up. Simple setup, right? But it was absolutely crucial to getting this right. And this right here, this is the key detail. See, not all screen time is created equal, not even close. The Brain HQ group wasn't just, playing games for fun. They were doing exercises that were specifically engineered from the ground up to target and improve the brain's speed and accuracy. The control group was busy and engaged too, but their games just didn't have that specific scientific design. Okay, so we know the training worked, but why did it work? This isn't magic, it's straight up neuroscience. To really get what's happening, we need to quickly touch on two key ideas that explain how our brains can literally change for the better. First up, you've probably heard this one before, neuroplasticity. It's a huge concept. It's the basic idea that your brain isn't set in stone. It can physically change, rewire, and adapt based on what you do. The easiest way to think about it is like a muscle. The more you challenge it in the right way, the stronger and more efficient it actually becomes.
The second piece of this puzzle is a brain chemical, a neurotransmitter called acetylcholine. You can just think of it as your brain's pay attention chemical. It is absolutely vital for learning new things and locking in memories. Now, here's the catch. As we get older, our brains naturally start making less of it.
And this is the mic drop moment of the whole study. The researchers found that the special Brain HQ training didn't just give the brain a temporary jolt the way some drugs might. It actually kick-started the brain's own internal machinery to produce more acetylcholine. It was teaching the brain to fix itself, restoring its natural function. This is the first time any intervention, drug or otherwise, has ever been shown to do this in people. It's a really, really big deal. Now, I know this all sounds pretty incredible, but if you've been following this world for a while, you might be feeling a little skeptical, a little déjà vu maybe? Because let's be honest, the brain training industry has made some pretty huge promises before. So let's zoom out for a second and look at the bigger picture. The whole industry just exploded back in the mid-2000s. It went from being this tiny niche thing to a billion-dollar business seemingly overnight. But that crazy growth was fueled by some really bold claims. And eventually, it caught the attention of regulators. In 2016, the FTC decided it was time to step in. Yeah, the Federal Trade Commission came down hard on one of the biggest players, Lumosity. And this quote from their official complaint really says it all. The company was fined millions because it was making these huge promises, like fighting off memory loss and dementia, without any real science to back them up. And that, understandably, made a lot of people skeptical about the entire field. So what was the actual scientific problem here? What separates the real deal from just, hype? Well, it all boils down to this one big challenge that researchers call transfer. Basically, does getting really good at a brain game actually help you with anything in the real world? Let's break that down. Near transfer is, well, it's easy. You play a card matching game 100 times, you get really, really good at that specific card matching game. Duh. But the holy grail, the thing that actually matters, is far transfer. That's when the training makes you better at totally unrelated real-world stuff, like remembering your grocery list, staying focused at work, or even being a safer driver. Proving that is way harder, and it's where a lot of the early programs fell flat. But okay, let's say you find a program that actually works, one that can achieve that tricky far transfer. There's still one huge hurdle to overcome. And that problem is pretty well summed up by this one number, 22.7%. So what does that number mean? It's from a pretty recent study, just this year in fact. And they found that when people were just left to do the training on their own at home, less than a quarter of them, only 22.7%, actually stuck with it and completed the recommended amount. It just goes to show you, even the best tool in the world is useless if people aren't motivated enough to actually use it consistently. So let's tie all this together. We've got the incredible promise from this new science on one hand, and the cautionary tales from the industry's past on the other. What does this actually mean for you? If you're looking at these programs, what are the green flags, the signs that one is actually worth your time and energy? Here's a quick mental checklist. First, does it have real, peer-reviewed science backing it up? Not just one study, but multiple. Second, can it tell you how it works, like by targeting a specific system like the cholinergic system? Third, and this is the big one, does it have proof of far transfer, real-world benefits? And finally, is it being honest with you? It should be telling you that results take consistent, focused work, not promising to cure diseases or make you a genius overnight. The real takeaway here isn't about some miracle cure. The big news, the really exciting part, is that for the first time, we have specific, scientifically proven tools that are accessible to pretty much anyone. It gives us a brand new way to be proactive about our brain health, putting it right up there with physical exercise and a good diet.
You know, we're at this amazing turning point. The science is basically handing us the keys to our own cognitive health. We now have proven, accessible ways to physically make our brains younger. So the question really isn't, can we do it anymore? The real question is, what are we going to choose to do with that power?